Over the past several months, the African digital asset sector has experienced significant industry-shaping events. And Nigeria, one of Africa's largest digital currency hubs, has been at the center of these developments, prompting stakeholders and prominent voices in the crypto community to engage in discussions about digital assets and the crucial role of government policies and regulations in the sector's growth. Now, with many, you'll remember that Nigeria's central bank at one time dealt a very heavy blow to the developing or burgeoning cryptocurrency space. But now, with the Nigerian blockchain policy, some interesting things in Nigeria's Finance Act 2023, we might be seeing a change. Now, joining me now is Uzoma James. She's the Regional Manager, West Africa for Yellow Card. Uzoma, welcome to Business Edge. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right. So when we look at, particularly here in Nigeria, some of the movements we've seen in recent times, from the Central Bank of Nigeria banning crypto in 2021 to the same government that was former President Muhammadu Buhari approving the blockchain policy and also the finance bill in 2023, is this a U-turn we're seeing? Is it, what kind of change are we anticipating here from the Nigerian government in particular? What do you make of this?
To be clear, it is unclear whether the Nigerian government is making a U-turn on its earlier stance on cryptocurrency. However, the approval of the blockchain policy and finance bill suggests that the government is more open to the idea of regulating cryptocurrency. I went through the Nigerian blockchain bill, and I can see that the government understands the benefit that blockchain has to give to the economy, like accountability, transparency, as well as job creation and new industries. So while there's still a lot of progress to be made, this development indicates a willingness to explore how cryptocurrency can positively impact the nation's economy. So I believe this is a step in the right direction.
Okay, fantastic. No, given the perspective you have working with Yellow Card, as you said, we're not exactly sure if this is a U-turn, but an attempt to regulate the space. I think the bigger question would now be, what does that regulation come with? What does this mean for crypto players, especially crypto exchanges like yourself, and even those who are playing in the crypto market? Because even with the CBN banning or restriction of crypto, it didn't stop Nigeria or Nigerians particularly for continuing to rank tops when it came to our involvement in the crypto space.
Well, for an exchange like ours, Yellow Card is well positioned to succeed in a regulated environment because we have a strong track record of compliance and we are committed to providing a safe and secure platform for users. However, regulatory measures from experience can bring both opportunities and challenges for crypto exchange. Looking at the bright side, clear regulations can enhance the industry's credibility, attract institutional investors, and provide a safer environment for users. However, we do know that compliance with regulations requires some sort of investment from the side of the government to meet international and necessary standards.
Okay, interesting enough. Let's go to one of the things we saw in the Finance Act 2023, and that's a 10% tax on digital assets that's been proposed. In terms of that, what do you think, or how do you think it will play out for users and crypto exchanges when we've seen these types of digital taxes, which is also a new trend, or rather a trend that we see across the continent right now? It does end up having an impact on the space. So in terms of the 10% digital assets tax here in Nigeria, what impact do you think it will have?
Well, I think the government is trying to put a stamp, that the intention of this amendment is to avoid any doubt regarding the taxation of digital assets. Now, while the proposed taxes may introduce additional operational and compliance requirements for both exchange and users, we view them as a necessary step towards creating a regulated, sustainable crypto ecosystem. At Yellow Card, we are committed to working closely with government and regulators to ensure that the tax implementation process is smooth and efficient for both platform and the users. We place a strong emphasis on education because we carry out regular education campaigns because we believe that education is vital in fostering crypto adoption in Africa.
Okay.
Through these educational initiatives, we empower users to navigate the complexities of the crypto market.
And I think that's what all crypto exchanges want. They don't want people to continue to fall victim, because then it just gives the entire industry a bad name. Let's come to something else we've seen recently, and that's the situation, or the saga, some say, happened between the Securities and Exchange Commission, where they said that Binance Nigeria Limited was operating illegally. And then this followed with Binance's CEO openly denouncing Binance Nigeria Limited. So in terms of this sort of giving the industry a bad name, but also the current relationship between the entities as well, what do you make of that? Because there's this relationship that needs to be had between the crypto exchanges and regulators as we see more regulation coming from around the world.
Well, it is true that that happened, and it's been an interesting conversation overall. I mean, from the recent incidents, what I see is that there's a disconnect between the regulators and crypto exchange. We need to come together as a team to better the industry and to protect our users. So, for us to work better, in my own opinion, I think what would help us with all these miscommunications and issues is number one, clear communication. We need to have regular dialogues and open communication, both from exchange as well as regulators, to foster mutual understanding. Because if there's understanding, we can strive to meet the strictest regulatory requirements while working alongside with regulators. Another thing we can look into is compliance measures. Exchanges should prioritize implementing robust compliance measures to adhere to regulatory requirements such as KYC, anti-money laundering policies to maintain transparent financial record. Number three, I think educating users, like I said previously, is very, very important. A lot of people do not understand how cryptocurrency works. So exchanges can, exchanges as well as regulators can invest in this to help users understand better the different scams that are out there, scamming schemes and all that. Last but not least, I would say regulatory framework as well as monitoring and enforcement. If the regulators can put clear guidelines, rules and regulations for crypto exchange to follow, I believe that most of the crypto exchange that are not bad eggs will be able to flourish in this space, as well as bad eggs will be taken out. And with adequate monitoring and evaluation and enforcing of the law, we shouldn't have these issues going forward.
Okay, and I like what you did in terms of laying out, because my next question really was how we can ensure protection for the users of blockchain and cryptocurrencies and crypto exchanges, and you sort of wrapped that up. But I also do want to ask about this, because not just about regulation, there's a conversation now being had about sustainability as well, because we've also seen an increasing shutdown of crypto players in Africa. And in the last several months, several crypto exchanges have also closed shop. Of course, we know what's happening internationally as well, but recently here on the continent, we've seen Bundle. What does this say about the sustainability of crypto-based businesses here on the continent? Is it something that is not yet particularly on very firm footing?
Well, just like you said, like any industry, we see this in the international space as well. There's booms and there's massive shutdown. It is important to view the shutdown within the context of the global tech industry. This is not unique to just African companies. In order to measure the sustainability of any industry, you can't just look at the short term. You need to look at the wider perspective. You need to consider the long term as well. Now, the closure of crypto exchanges highlight the challenges of operating in a dynamic and evolving industry. This industry keeps changing. We keep seeing different policies. Technology keeps advancing, and it has really, really been challenging. However, at Yellow Card, what we have been able to do is providing a reliable and stable platform for our users. We invest in high-tech and innovative technologies to keep our users secure, because we've seen a lot of scams around the industry. And to ensure sustainability of crypto in Africa, as a team, we remain steady amidst the inability of the market. We managed to do this because of solid business practices, as well as making sure that fundamentally we are strong.
Okay, and that's the business that everyone is trying to find. Uzoma, because of time, unfortunately, I can't go much further. We have breaking news coming in that I do need to take. But I know that when it comes to conversations about cryptos and alternative financing, there's more to be had. So we look forward to having you back.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Uzoma James, for joining me. Regional Director, I believe it is, Regional Manager, there it is, West Africa for Yellow Card. Now, the breaking news I mentioned, of course, is coming to you from Abuja. We'll be getting visuals of that in the course of the 12 p.m. news that's coming your way, and that's News Central now at the top of the 12 p.m. hour. As we told you earlier this morning, Nigeria's labor union, the Nigeria Labor Congress, has gone ahead with a protest walk, a protest action, and that is, of course, regarding the removal of the fuel subsidy by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Now, as of yesterday, we were very unsure whether or not the labor union would go ahead with the strike, but they came out with a statement and they said they were not reconsidering going on a protest, as had been spreading around social media in the late hours of yesterday and this morning, waking up to that protest in Abuja and Lagos and other parts of the country. Now, protesters had walked to Nigeria's National Assembly in Abuja and were demanding that the gates be opened. Apparently, the gates were not opened, and those who are joining the march from the Nigeria Labor Union have now actually breached the gates of the Nigeria National Assembly, and they are right now in the assembly complex. Now, we're not saying that this has turned into a violent protest by any means. We have videos and pictures that will be coming to you at 12 p.m. with News Central now. As of right now, they are in the National Assembly protest. They're continuing to address the media that are present. The heads of the Nigeria Labor Congress and Nigeria Labor Unions are also present as well. They're simply in the National Assembly complex. So there might be a situation where we see maybe leadership of the Senate or the National Assembly coming out to address them because they have a number of demands. We have some visuals for you now. As you can see there, this is coming to you from Abuja with the protest that is happening right now, as the Nigeria Labor Congress says they do not accept the removal of the subsidy without palliatives, and they are very much unhappy with what has been done in regards to the palliatives that President Bola Tinubu has put out so far. Don't forget that the president addressed Nigerians on Monday evening. That was his first State of the Nation broadcast, where he laid out or rolled out a number of palliatives or measures, economic interventions that he wanted to put in place due to the hardship that has come about because of the removal of the fuel subsidy. So this is a story that, of course, has been developing since morning. The latest development now is that those who are protesting with the Labor Congress or the Nigeria Labor Congress are inside the complex of the National Assembly, which seats one of the arms of Nigeria's government, and that is, of course, the legislature. That's where the National Assembly is, the Senate and the House of Representatives. It's still right now, by all accounts, a peaceful protest march within the National Assembly. But when 12 p.m. West African time comes your way, News Central Now will, of course, have all the latest coming to you from Abuja and also here in Lagos as well, and across the country and the continent. But that's how we have to wrap things up on Business Edge. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to follow us on social media, where you can keep up to breast with all of the news that is coming in right now regarding this protest in Nigeria. And you can do that at News Central TV. Business Edge will be back your way 11 a.m. West African time tomorrow. Do have a pleasant day. I'm Tolulope Adeleru-Balogun.